Cerf, for all, by all.
أنا ذبحت من الحي كنت عايز ذبحته كان الحي تهز التاكة حقنا وإحنا نفتقعنها بالصبح ويقعنا نكد وهي تذيب ما قهدتش قاعد الدكان حتى الشرين إياك عبي كل يوم
أنا فارا فراد دفعة لانش ماري فراد دفعة قولي ماري مانشار دوري ماري فراد هنغورا فارا فراد دفعة نارا إكيا لوري ماري جاب مراد داني ماري فراد داني ماري هنغني هتني هان نارا فارا دشتي
Right now, you need the water to clean, to drink, to bathe, to do everything. The same water that destroyed is the same water we need right now.
Time lost means lives lost. That's why the UN Central Emergency Response Fund is there when people are most in need, whenever and wherever crises hit. So far, Cerf has provided $5 billion worth of life-saving aid to 100 countries and territories, 47 of which also donated to Cerf in solidarity. Over the years, more than 126 member states and others have contributed to the fund. This is why Cerf is for all and by all.
The Cerf will provide a ready pool of resources that better empower the United Nations in funding immediate relief efforts in the aftermath of disasters. It will ensure that in the critical realm of humanitarian assistance, the United Nations will do more and do it soon.
For more than a decade, the Central Emergency Response Fund has saved countless lives. It helps kickstart a global life-saving response impartially, efficiently, and immediately. We can all be proud of its success.
Cerf is unparalleled in speed, global reach, and scale of impact in saving lives.
When more than 600,000 Rohingya refugees fled from violence in Myanmar to neighboring Bangladesh in 2017, Cerf immediately helped the most vulnerable people get urgent food, healthcare, shelter, and much more.
196,000. The number of Rohingya refugees will be reached with life-saving emergency water and sanitation services this year. And 250,000, the number of children given emergency vitamin A supplements following last year's earthquake in Ecuador.
Cerf is a lifeline for people caught up in the world's most neglected crises. In 2017, Cerf has allocated 1/3 of its annual funding to help more than 6 million people in protracted emergencies around the world.
The funds also allowed UNHCR to deliver life-saving protection and assistance in underfunded refugee situations, including some that have dragged on for decades, such as assistance for Afghan returnees and emergency shelters for South Sudanese refugees in Sudan.
Focusing on needs prioritized by the humanitarian country teams, Cerf reinforces collaboration and coordination among the humanitarian organizations.
The Cerf is a cornerstone of the UN humanitarian system. It's effective, it's efficient, it really reaches those most in need, and therefore Sweden has for a long time been a long-standing top donor to the Cerf.
Cerf was one of the first responders to warning signs in northeast Nigeria, South Sudan, Somalia, and Yemen, where more than 20 million people have been facing near-famine conditions. In Yemen, the scene of the greatest humanitarian crisis in the world, a staggering 17 million people are food insecure. By end August, Cerf had released $128 million to support the most critical early action, making it one of the largest funding sources for the 4 affected countries in the early stages of the response.
We've seen how the $128 million that have been spent through Cerf across the 4 famines have actually assisted up to 20 million people, preventing them from starving.
Cerf gives us the flexibility so that we can get the job done any place, any time, for all the people.
While humanitarian needs have continued to grow to over $22 billion, CERF's annual funding target of $450 million remained unchanged. More resources are needed so that CERF can continue to save and protect lives. That's why in December 2016, the UN General Assembly endorsed the Secretary General call to expand CERF's annual funding target to $1 billion by 2018.
As global emergencies escalate in number and severity, support for CERF must increase as well.
IOM supports a $1 billion fund which will maintain impact, speed, and focus. So I call on all donors to support and participate in CERF actively.
I urge UN member states to heed the UN Secretary General's call to increase their contributions to the CERF.
A strong United Nations needs a strong, reliable CERF to reach people trapped in crisis and to respond to the needs of those furthest behind.
For all, by all. CERF